Hey everyone, happy Tuesday morning and welcome to our weekly Facebook Live. My name is Anne Granger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the beautiful town of Dorchester, Ontario, Canada. And I'm excited to be with you. Popping on just a few minutes after 11, so Facebook will let you go on live and that gives me a chance to check my settings and make sure everything looks great. I hope you're having a great morning start to your day. It is a very sunny day here and it's going to be another warm day. Unfortunately, we're in a heat wave. I don't think the heat actually breaks till like tomorrow or Thursday, but I don't know about you, but I'm done with this hot and humid weather. I'm ready. I don't even want to say it. Just a little bit cooler. My ideal temperature, like when it's 20 degrees, it's breezy, you can open all your windows and doors and you don't have to have the air running 24/7. So, all right, if you are here, say hi. If you are watching on the replay, shout out to my replay warriors. I know sometimes catching someone live is hard to do, but I appreciate you stopping by in the Stamp with Anne community. It is a community that I have been building for a while and one that I truly am grateful for and love. I love my crafting friends. I often think, wow, I wouldn't have met you if it wasn't for stamp paper and inks. My Stampin' Up! Journey has been an amazing and it's filled my heart with gratitude and so much love. This week we are playing with, it's Christmas in July in the studio. I don't know about you, but Christmas is my favorite time of year. Maybe that's because I'm a December baby. But I love everything that Christmas has to offer. I love the gatherings. I love the food. I love the baking. I love the Christmas music. I could start listening to Christmas music anytime now. I love like walking at night when everything is dark and just seeing the decorations. Like it truly, truly is so magical. And I love it when you get to live it through the eyes of different people, you know, especially with children. And then as your children grow up and when you have a puppy, like it's just so much fun. So this week I thought I had one more week left of July. I thought I would do Christmas in July and I am showcasing a new stamp set called the Jar of Joy. This stamp set you will actually find on our online exclusive, so in our online store, and I'm going to share all about how you can purchase this in easiest way. I'm just sharing my video to my group. So as I said, it's a fun one. When I first saw this, so I actually saw the jar punch and it has a coordinating stamp set back at Onstage in March, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need that jar. It's so cute. And I love it because it's a punch. Sometimes when we craft, we just want simple and easy, and crafting with like a stamp and punch is definitely easy. And it's also great for the new beginners, like the beginners, because you can just buy that. You don't have to buy everything else to go with it. So today we are doing a little bit of Christmas in July. I have, we're going to create a card and I'm going to show you where I found my inspiration for that card. I'm going to show you the designer series paper that we're focusing on week. And then we're going to create a card and I have 2 other projects to share with you. And I also have couple announcements, so I'm super excited about that. So let's get started. I am going to flip my camera and we are going to get started. You're going to see the beautiful sunshine. As I said, if you're here, say hi. Let me know you're here. I'm really trying to play around with my screen because I really want you guys to see the full view. Just give me a minute here. I feel like my camera stand, maybe it's my stand that's just wonky. I kind of really want to make sure that you guys can see the full view of my video. I've been watching videos. I've been watching my replay videos back, and I don't know, I guess I want to know, do you guys like things where it's like further in the distance, like what it is now, or up close? But sometimes I feel when you're up close, you don't get to see everything. So we're going to try this view for a while, and I'm going to let me know what you guys think. That would be really, really great. Okay, feedback is always good because I'm trying to improve my videos as I go along. So, as I said, we are focusing on sorry for the light shadows. We are focusing on the Jar of Joy. So this is a single stamp set that you can find in our online store. The easiest way to use our online store, honestly, this is the way I use it. It's the best. It's the easiest way I've found to navigate is go to my blog, www.stampwithanne.com, click shop now. Up top, there's a search engine. Just type in Jar of Joy and it'll pop up. It will show you all the products that coordinate with it, something. So that's how I shop. use the store, or I will actually go look for a specific product by its category. Jar of Joy, it's a photopolymer stamp set. It coordinates with the Jar of Joy, I think this is called the Jar Punch. Super cute, but lots you can do with it. And I love that they're greetings, so you can make your own like gingerbread. It's got a snowman ornament, and I love wishing you the sweetest Christmas, jar, sending a jar. So this has great greetings. This Jar Punch also coordinates with this one called Sweet Jar. So this you can actually purchase as the stamp set or the punch or the bundle. So you kind of get a little bit more bang for your buck because you have 2 stamp sets that coordinate with this beautiful jar punch. You can make a jar of cookies, you can make a jar of jelly beans, you can make a jar of hearts, shamrocks, candles. There's lots you can do with this, so I'm super excited. I showcased this back in, I think it was May, because I think this came out in May online exclusive release. And then the jar came out in July. So I wanted to share with you the paper we are focusing on this week. I really wanted to showcase some new designer series paper, so I challenged myself with the need for tweed. Now this paper, I feel like Stampin' Up! Just took a whole bunch of sweaters and took pictures and then blow them up to get those fun little patterns. I love these. Probably here are my 4 favorite, like my 2 favorite patterns, but I also like this one. So make sure you set your alarm for tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I'm going to be showing you a card using this pattern. The only ones I haven't really played around with these ones, but I have played with everything else. I love this one because it's a basic beige, and the colors are basic beige, basic black, cherry cobbler, early espresso, old olive, and pecan pie, which is perfect for Christmas crafting. Those are great colors for Christmas, especially the cherry cobbler and old olive, and basic beige. All right, so let me show you. So today we are creating a project, and I have a couple other things to share with you. So I wanted to share with you the product of the week, just in case you're like looking for that information. This is what we are showcasing. So I am showcasing the Jar of Joy, and there is this number in case you want to add that to your shopping list. And then here is the designer series paper, and there is the shopping list. And then it also shows you how you can order. And honestly, the easiest way I said is to go to my blog, or if you bookmarked my online store, you can do that here in Canada, because I can only sell, as per Stampin' Up! Policy, within Canada. All right, so there's our product of the week. I also wanted to tell you I've brought back with some people requesting the Jar of Joy the card classes to go. So each week I will be picking 3 of the projects that we make, and I will be creating a card kit for you. So this week's card kit includes all the supplies to make these 3 cards. So we are actually going to feature these 2 in videos. This one will be a sample. Easy though. My PDFs will be very detailed. You will be able to walk through it, put it together, and obviously we'll link back you to the video, and I will show this on a video, so you'll be able to see it there. Place a $50 order in my online store, or email me your order between now and August 3rd, and you will get this kit for free, as my way of saying thank you. It's a little gift to say thank you. The only thing I can't do is stamp your images. So if you really like the way it is, you're going to want to add the Jar of Joy and the punch to your collection. Maybe you already have it. Not to worry. The PDF will be up in my PDF store starting next week. All right. So today we are showcasing, I'm going to showcase the card first. We are going to make this adorable little snowman card. I don't know about you, but I am a huge fan of snowmen. I love snowmen. I don't know why. They're just so stinking cute that I can't resist snowmen. Anytime they're in a stamp, I have to get them. I actually have a couple that I've saved, and I use them when I create cards or projects for myself. I love them so much. So this is a card we're going to make today, showcasing that stamp set. But I wanted to show you where I got my inspiration. So the one thing as when you are part of the Stampin' Up! Community as a demonstrator, Stampin' Up! Provides you with many resources to help create your creating experience be a happy and joyful one. So they've started sending out these new, what they're called Succeed Weekly emails. You have to be a demonstrator to get those emails. And they come out on Wednesdays. In last week's email was this card class for July, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is so cute. So I took the layout, and so they show you a sketch, and then they took the layout, and I created that layout, but I did it in different colors, so you can see how that looks two ways. I love it. They've actually given you the supplies, the instructions, and the measurements. Super, super cute. And then I'm also going to show you this one. So you got two cards. So if you're looking for some inspiration and you really are thinking about, like, you would love to be a part of this community, I tell you, this is the best community. That Stampin' Up! Community is, like, priceless. The friendships I have made are, like, so genuine. I love them. I love them dearly. They're part of my family. They're my world. I can't imagine Stampin' Up! Not in my world. And I've been doing this for 18 years. But I really, really like this. So I thought that was a great way to show you. So we're going to create this card today. And then I'll show you the other cards. So, and then each different week, it's a different, different ideas. Sometimes they show you, like, techniques and stuff like that. So let's dive in and create this card. And as I said, I will be showing you two other cards today. So the first one we're making, or the one we're making for today, showcases this beautiful suite. Okay, so I'm using basic white, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I need to order thick paper. My puppy is sound asleep in his little bucket. I have a bench in my room, in my studio. I call this my stamp room. In my stamp room, I have a bench. That was my in-laws. And I received the bench after they passed away, and I was like, where am I going to put that bench? I actually wanted to put it at the back door, and it did not fit the back door. So I put it in my craft room, in my stamp room, and I love it because I feel like they're with me. But Timbit is, like, underneath the bench sleeping. It's so cute. He is my little stamping buddy. All right. So we have a piece of, and not to worry, you don't have to write all these measurements down. You can just watch, enjoy. I'm going to upload this video. It'll be on my blog tomorrow, and I will showcase the card, the sketch, and the measurements. So here is the adorable, this is that paper. So like I said, the paper is pretty bold, but when you're cutting it into small strips, it's really nice. Like, look at that one. Like, that's so cute. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do some little bit of building here. So let's just put this off. We're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut this on an angle. So there's that one pattern, and then there's the other side. And we're going to go ahead and hear that down to this one. Where's my tape printer? Oh, there it is. You ever lose things on your desk? So all week I will be showcasing this fun little stamp set and punch. I think it's adorable. All right, so we need some linen thread, and I am trying to use up all those little bits and pieces of linen thread that I get when I purchase like a kit or something. So this is the way we're going. Oh, see, it's like on one of these little things here. All right, so there's that. And now we're gonna just make sure which is the bottom. This is the bottom right here. So we're gonna put a little bit of tape down here, and we're going to adhere this piece here, that little strip. So when you flip it over, it looks like that. And make sure that I'm straight. Maybe I should have did it this way. I'll do it this way. Sometimes I line it up on my grid, and then I use the one line to show there. So there's that. So let's go ahead and put that down. I need some paper there. And we're going to put that in the middle of our card. Oh, I see I'm a little bit over here. Just turn that off. Right there. Okay, so there's that. We have that. Now we're going to work on our snowman. So I'm going to set this aside for a minute, and we'll bring it back. Let me grab some paper. All right, so we're going to stamp our jars first, and we're going to stamp our jars in Memento ink. So Memento ink is a great ink. I use it sometimes for my black, but it's also great if you're watercoloring and doing things like that. And we're actually going to do a little bit of probably something I haven't used in a while, and I don't know if you guys have used it in a while. So we're going to stamp 2 of these because we need 2 jars. And there's our jars. Oh. Okay. And I put the extra pieces when I create in here. I should put them in like a little container. Our little, maybe our clear envelopes, but then they're there if I need them. We're going to bring in the snowman for 1. So let's bring him in. And when I stamp the snowman, you're going to notice, you're like, but Anne, he has no scarf. And you're right, he has no scarf. Look, if I bring it closer, he has no scarf. So as I was creating on the weekend, I was looking at it and I was like, what is this stamp set? I was like, what is this for? I think it was because it was like this on my desk and I was like, what is that? And then I realized it was this scarf and the little trim that goes on his hat. And I was like, that's a great idea. So we're going to use that. I'm going to get a smaller block and we're going to do that one in cherry cobbler. And we're done with the black, so let's put that one right here. Okay, so on my sample, I did all Old Olive. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up with his trim. And I just need to bring that a little closer because I can't stamp that far away from me. And I'm just going to line it up. And then when I do, you get that cute little scarf. Doesn't that just finish your project? Like, I think it's so cute. Okay, so now we're going to do the greeting. And the greeting is the wishing you the sweetest Christmas. Isn't that cute? I've seen a lot of people showcasing Christmas in July. We have a local bakery here in town, and she did Christmas in July last week with all kinds of yummy Christmas snacks. It was so good. All right, there's our greeting. So it says, wishing you the sweetest Christmas. Isn't that cute? You totally could use that for gingerbread or whatever. All right, we need our jar, so lid, and we're going to stamp our jar lid on cherry cobbler in Memento ink. So I wanted it to be like a jar, like a cherry cobbler lid. So I'm just stamping on my cherry cobbler paper with Memento ink, is what I meant to say. Okay, so that is all we need for the stamping, I believe. Yeah, okay, so let's go put all this away. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. All right, we'll bring that back in a minute. But I wanted to show you, so here, we have this little bit of white. And in the instructions, they actually told us to use watercolor pens and a blender. So this is how I store my crayons. These are our watercolored crayons, and I think there's like 2 different types. I store them in this little container, I think this was like a cup we got at either an event I was at or but I love it, and I'm a true believer when you see things in your room, you use them more. So these sit in this little cup and they sit up on my shelf, so I see them, which means I'm going to use them. We are going to use a blender pen, and we are going to use a blue. Now let me find a nice blue here. Which is this one? There's that blue. I try to put them so I can see the colors. What's this blue? Balmy blue. Maybe I'll use balmy blue. What's this one? Pacific Point. Bermuda Bay. Night of Navy. Okay, so we're going to use Balmy Blue. I think that'll be a pretty color. So with our pencil crayons, you can just sharpen these. I actually have, this was something that like Stampin' Up! Came out with a long time, was just these sharpeners. So I just sharpen them, but you can use probably any pencil sharpener that you have. It would be good that way. And when you color with our watercolor pencils, it takes you back to the days when you used to color. I used to love coloring. And you don't want to color hard, like as if you're coloring in, like if this was an image in your coloring book and you're coloring, you want to color it lightly. It's better to start light than go dark, because if you go too dark, You can't change it, but if you go light, you can add. So we're just going to color with the watercolor crayons around here. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of go in, and I'm just really coloring in circles. All right, and then we have our blender pens. So our blender pens, you get 3 in a pack, and you get, they're these tips, and you can tell from my finger they're wet. And the neat thing about this is that you can color like in blue, and then go to black. Blue, go to red. And I'm gonna show you how you're gonna wanna do that. You wanna make sure you color off, just to make sure you've removed all that color residence. And then you're going to just smooth it. So as you see how I'm smoothing with the pen, that it actually makes my image look more smooth. It doesn't have that rough look of, and you don't want to color too hard because you don't want to pull the paper or rip it. So it's just a really light touch. But as you can see, I have blue on my tip. So now I'm going to color off till I see no more color. And then I could literally go color in red and do it that way. So blender pens are a great way, and they work perfectly with our watercolor crayons. So that is something that I haven't used in a while. So I was grateful that Stampin' Up! Showed us that trick and reminded us of using those. Let's bring in that punch. So I am a person who likes to punch where I can see it. So now you could have stamped there and did that. Sometimes I do that, it always doesn't work for me. So I like to stamp them individually. You know what? And then I keep those leftover pieces and put them into my stamp case, because I could literally take that stamp and put like a color on it. So let's bring in our little lids here. So cute. There. And here. So there you go. And I'll put that away for tomorrow in case I need. Oh, I had a little bit of red there. So I'll pull that aside. All right, so now we have our jars. I'm just gonna put that. So let's go ahead and glue our jars on. We're just going to, a little bit of glue, and I'm gonna put the lid just on top. These jars remind me of, you see these jars, they're very popular. I have a lot of these jars in my basement, in my studio. They're filled with candy for the candy bar. So I love them because you can see all the different candies in them. All right, so there is our 2 cute little jars. How adorable are those? So let's bring back in our card, and we're gonna bring in some dimensionals. If you've been following me, you've been know that I'm trying to use up like stuff in my craft room and in my drawers. And look at the size of this. I've been working on paper pumpkin kits this summer, trying to get caught up. And look how fun. This is like the largest, like large size of paper, like these. This is our normal size. So these are black ones and these are our white ones. But look at the difference. Stampin' Up! Needs to sell just this size because that would be really good. All right, so we are going to put our jar with our snowman down first. And we're just going to pop him there. And then we're going to come in with our jar with the greeting. Oh, and I need to move it over a bit. I thought I put it down too. There we go. Put him there. And we're just going to have it off to the side a little bit. So there's that. I'm going to bring back in that linen thread. And we're going to create a little bow. I'm just making it, oh, did I make it too small? No, I made it too small. I never cut my ribbon or twine when I'm making a bow. I used to do that at the very beginning when I first was starting in the paper crafting world. And I'm telling you, I wasted so much ribbon and twine. And then I was at a class and someone shared that with me and I was like, that is the best tip ever. So there's my tip. And I have to tell you, when I started on this journey, I wasn't a very crafty. I was crafty. I did enjoy coloring and doing things like that. I loved like different craft ideas, but I had never really like scrapbooked or made cards. when I actually got into Stampin' Up, I was a scrapbooker. That's how I was introduced to Stampin' Up. And then probably about a year in, I started making some cards, and then it just kind of went from there. I make cards and I do classes, and the rest is history. Like, honestly, it's kind of interesting how my journey has evolved with Stampin' Up, and I really only just joined for the discount, so I love it and wouldn't change it for the world. So keeps me busy. What else would I be doing in my day? All right, so there is our sweet, sweet card focusing on the, and I put these ones down a little bit. I should maybe, let's see if I can bring these up a little bit. I want more of my pattern showing. Oh, I ripped my, let's see. Pull it up. Okay, yeah, I want more of my pattern showing. Not just so there. Can always fix things. There, I like that's better. All right, so there is wishing you the sweetest Christmas. Now I'm going to show you my sample because I actually used the old Olive for his scarf and hat. So there is our 2 cards using the snowman. So if you were to place a $50 order this week before shipping and taxes, and now don't forget, we also have rewards. So if you're using rewards, your amount has to be $50 before all that is taken off, added and taken off. You will get all the supplies. So you would get the cardstock, you would get the basic white, the cherry cobbler, you would get the pattern paper, you would get the ribbon. The only thing I wouldn't be able to do is stamp your images for you. So you would need the jar. But you know what? Maybe you have tons of Christmas stamps in your stash and you just want the card kit. That is perfect too. It is a great way to, card kits are a great way to purchase and have, and then you can go in your craft room, put on some music, watch a movie, and just create. It's a little escape for you for about 30 minutes or more. So there is our first card. So that is one of the cards you will be making in your kit. Also, I wanted to show you other samples. So the other card you would make in your kit, I'm going to show you that tomorrow. So you're going to want to make that your alarm. So today is Tuesday, July 29th. And if you're watching live, you would see that live button. And if not, you're watching on the replay. And tomorrow, set your alarm for 7 p.m. Eastern time, because I'm going to show you a card made with this set also. But let me show you some samples. So in this one, I also shared with you that they had showed us this other PDF, and I really liked it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder how I can challenge myself to use this, but use the need for Tweed Designer Series Paper. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna do this. I think this is great, and like I said, this is a great way for for you to get some card ideas. I'm going to be saving these, I think, and going back when I'm looking for some inspiration. So I challenged myself to use the need for Tweed. So this one is showcasing the ornaments, and it says, "May your heart be filled with joy." So I kind of pulled in that cherry, pulled in that beige, and did a little bit of that green. I used these dots, which they were out last year and they carried over. They're called the Cherry Cobbler and Pearl dots, which were perfect because I was looking for a cherry cobbler embellishment. And then that's that. So that is those. Look how fun that is. Different. It's different, but it's very Christmassy. That one will not be in your sample, in your card kit. And the last one that I wanted to show you, so I actually cased myself. A few weeks back, I showcased the Utterly Awesome Suite. And I said, oh, I really like that card layout. I should challenge myself and make a Christmas card. So I went into my stash, I pulled the card out, and I made it into a Christmas. So this is the other card you would get in your kit. You will get all the supplies. So you would get the cardstock, the pattern paper, you would get this die cut, you would get these. So this is using the Stylish Shape dies. This here is a Spotlight on Nature. I would give you everything, but I wouldn't be able to stamp these images. So this one uses this sweet little gingerbread. I thought this card would be great to give to someone. Maybe you're going to give them some cookies at Christmas, or maybe you're going to go get them a gingerbread cookie, or maybe like a cookie and a coffee. You could even put a little gift card in here. I think there's lots you could do with this. And once again, now I chose not to put embellishments on this, but you could totally do it. So these two cards will be in your card kit that you would earn. you would get as my way of saying thank you for you. It's a little gift from me saying thank you for placing an order. All right, everyone. So there is 3 card ideas showcasing the Jar of Joy stamp set. I really like this one. I think it's so cute. Like, just look how cute that little jar is. Oh, so cute. So how will this video work? And let's just do a recap. So we are using the Jar of Joy stamp set, and we are using the Need for Tweed Designer Series paper. I showcased those at the beginning of the video, so if you're just strolling through and you see that, you might want to walk back and find that. Rewind it so you can see it. I will upload this video to YouTube, so it will be on my blog tomorrow and on my YouTube channel. So if you are not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, come follow me. I would love for you to join me over on that community. And I will link that video to my blog. So on my blog, you will find that video, you will find the sketch, and you will find all the measurements to make this card. So it's like a one-shop. You just go back there. And then if you are part of my newsletters, on Sunday, I will give you a recap email of all the projects we made, and I will link you back to the video so you can watch it. So it's kind of like you could keep that email in your folder, and when you're ready to create, you could go back and find it. Or you can print it, however you like. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me on this Tuesday morning. Have a fabulous rest of your day. Stay safe. Stay cool if you're somewhere where it's hot, and do something that brings you joy, and spread that little bit of kindness. So for me, that is creating. I will be in my room after I do some errands, and I look forward to just chilling and hanging out. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day. Talk to you soon. Bye.